Hey everybody, Amanda here. Um, I want to start off by saying the reason that I'm doing more live streams is because I really don't have any more room on my phones for data, and I do not have a computer or anything else to transfer the data so I can have more room. I did get some scan disk thing that you plug into your phone, but I can't figure out how to use it. I can't figure out how to get the images and the videos onto this thing to take it off my phone to have more room. So that's why I'm doing more live streams, because then I don't have to store them on my phone. So that's that. Okay, so EEG results. Um, they did not see any seizure activity. However, it showed that, wow, sorry, it's really hot out. I have to take this off. It showed that when I am asleep, I am partially aroused. And what that means is that some of my brain waves are not like the brain waves that you have when you're awake, and like the first stage of sleep when you're like laying there resting. You're not really asleep, but you're not really, it's that in between. That's where my brain is partially going, but I'm still sleeping, but and yet I'm not really getting REM sleep. Even if I do get to REM sleep, it's very, very minuscule the amount of time I spend there. So this explains why I feel like I'm awake when I'm sleeping, because I actually am partially. What does this mean moving forward? I have no idea. I have a follow-up appointment next month, and I called my psychiatrist to let her know the results, because I didn't know what she wants to do medication-wise, if she wants to do anything. But I have no idea what's going on with my brain. Why am I partially awake while I'm supposed to be sleeping? And on top of it, I'm taking medicine. Let's just say there's uppers and downers, right? Okay, that's basically most medicines. It makes you feel up or it makes you feel down. I take downers, so, antidepressants, stuff like that. Stuff for anxiety. That should really help with that not happening. And it makes me wonder, how long have I been sleeping this way? Because I remember when I was a kid, I could never sleep. And I remember, waking up a lot during the night and all this stuff. And I'm wondering, has this been something that's been going on since I was very young? Or is this a recent thing? I don't really know. I didn't have E.E.Gs when I was a kid. So, because when I was a kid, it was mostly chalked up to, you're a kid, you just don't want to go to bed. It wasn't that I didn't want to go to bed, I just couldn't sleep. And when you're a kid, I don't know if any of you had this experience. I'm sure you did, but I know I did. My bedroom was always right next to the living room. So when I went to bed, sometimes after I went to bed, people would come over and visit, and they would play cards, and they would play dice, and whatever else they would do, and they would talk. And when I say talk, I mean like, like, so when you're a kid and people are making that type of noise, it really makes it hard to go to sleep. Also, my grandmother, she was a bit hard of hearing, so she had the TV up pretty loud when she watched it, and that was another reason why I had trouble going to sleep. Now, aside from those distractions, okay, because that can happen to anybody, when those distractions weren't present, I still could not go to sleep. I would just lay in my bed all night. You know, I mean, when I was a kid, you really didn't want to get up out of bed and leave the room because you could get in trouble for not staying in bed. Sometimes I would venture out because I was bored. I couldn't sleep, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get to sleep. And like I said, when you're a kid, it's chalked up to, oh, you're being listening, blah blah blah, whatever. No, I really couldn't sleep. It wasn't an excuse. I really couldn't fucking sleep. And then when I did fall asleep, um, it wasn't. It it wasn't. I don't know if it was a deep sleep or not, because I would be so tired in the morning, so tired. Um, it really was hard to get me up to go to school. School starts way too early, if you ask me. School should start at like 10. That's when school should start. Get out at 6, okay? That's the best schedule, right? None of this. Let's be to school for 7:45. Like, why? Why? Nobody's gonna be paying attention at that time. Like, why? So it was really hard to get me up for school. Mostly because I had a hard time falling asleep. I couldn't stay asleep, and then by the time I fell asleep, I only got like 2 hours of sleep. So, and then I'd have to go to school, and yeah, it was really unpleasant. Were there times that I could sleep and sleep soundly? Yes, when I am severely depressed. You know, severe depression, not I'm sad, I'm that. It's actual depression. Like, you are, there's levels of depression. And when you're at the real bottom, yeah, you can sleep like 12 hours plus at a time, you know. Um, I really don't know when this started, how long it's been going on, but now I know. And right now I left a message for my psychiatrist, so I'm hoping by the end of this week, well, that'll be tomorrow, or next week sometime, she will call me back and tell me what she thinks. She might say, well, let's just wait until you go for your follow-up and then we'll decide then. I don't really know. So I'm just kind of waiting right now, and yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just, like, I'm tired. I don't know if you can see, but my eye, it feels like it's trying to close on me. Do you see that? Uh-oh, it's like twitching a little bit. Oh my gosh. Stay open. Ah. Okay, let's see. Wow, I do. Do you sleep during the day? Yeah. Yes. Yes, I do. Because I'm so tired when I wake up, I think I need to sleep more. And I will try to get up and stay up, but I'm so tired that I can't. You know that feeling? That heavy, like you're an anchor. Your eyes just, they cannot stay open. That type of thing. So yeah, I do. Try turning. I have. I know I feel tired. I I feel like I haven't slept in years. Oh, maybe that's why I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. No, that's not an endorsement. I just like that saying, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, that's fun. I also have sleep problems. It may be adrenal fatigue. Oh, from the adrenal gland in your brain? Is it in your brain? I don't know. I wasn't really that great at science and stuff. There's way too much stuff to remember when you take that stuff. Way too much. I don't know how doctors do it. I really don't. They must have to study every moment they have while they are conscious, including when they're still doctors, when they are doctors, because, I mean, if you don't keep up on it, you'll forget. So, yeah. Oh my God. So I don't really know. I don't know if he's gonna want to do another type of test. Um, because like I said, you might have an EEG done, and it might not catch a seizure, which it did not, but that doesn't mean you aren't having seizures. I'm just gonna go with no seizures. If they do find a seizure in the future, then I will say, okay, I'm having seizures. But if they're saying, no, we didn't see any seizures, I'm just gonna go with that. I mean, that's the best answer you could hope for. No activity of that kind. But I just don't understand how my brain can be partially aroused and trying to sleep at the same time while I'm taking meds. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's to me. I don't know. I don't remember the last time I've had a decent night's sleep where I felt rested the next day. I really don't. I must have had them sometime. I must have. You know, I can't imagine every single day of my life there was no sleep, or always interrupted sleep, or you know what I'm saying? Like, there must have been some times when I actually did sleep well. Oh my God. Yes, yes. I remember now. Wow. It's so odd though. I've said this before. When I have night terrors, the nights I have night terrors, I think the next day I am rested and I didn't have any issues sleeping. Is anyone here a doctor, a brain doctor? Oh my gosh. Ugh. So yeah, okay, when I have night terrors, I get a good night's sleep. How messed up is that? Like, what? What? Well, I guess I can say my medical life isn't boring. You know, I mean, I get to have kinds of tests and stuff. Yay! I get to go meet new people at the doctor's office. Yay! Do I become friends with any of them? No. I don't ever see them again. I mean, the doctors, if when you go see doctors, but like the people that are in the waiting rooms and stuff like that, you know, especially now with social distancing. Like when I went to have my EEG, when I went in, the only people that I saw was the person who was at the reception desk and the technician who was waiting for me when I got up there. That's it. I didn't see anybody else. Except outside. There were people outside because there's two sides to the building, and on this side, like if you're facing it, it would be on your left. There is these poles that come down from the roof, and then there's like these weird little pieces of wood. I guess it's meant to sit. I don't know, but people will kind of congregate in that area. They do maintain social distancing, which is nice. They're being safe for everybody, which is always great. So, because you have to wait, you can only have so many people inside. So, you know, so there's not as many people now as it was before, but you know, the technician was really nice. He is really nice. He didn't mind, because like when I'm nervous and I'm at a doctor's office, sometimes I tend to just babble about nothing. Nothing at all, because I'm nervous and I'm trying to distract myself because I don't want to think about it. So he let me babble on, which was great. But yeah, And I'm thinking, when they were talking about adding a stimulant, I'm wondering what exactly he is looking for that will change in my brain. I didn't ask that. I don't think of these questions until I kind of talk about it out loud like this, and then I come up with questions that I probably wouldn't have normally thought of. I'm sorry. My brain keeps I'm trying to stay on track, and then suddenly it's like, what was I talking about? So I apologize if I'm talking and I'm trying to get to a point and then I forget what I'm saying. That's happening a lot. I'm having a lot of short-term memory problems. So but it is what it is. Don't ask me what that noise was I just did. I have no idea. I don't know what's happening. I'm like so tired. I'm so tired. I feel like I'm floating. You know that feeling you're like, I'm so tired, I'm floating. Or when you're overtired, and you get all silly and stuff. I kind of feel like that. Is adrenal related to kidney? Oh yes, glands sit on top of both kidneys. Doctors don't do all the necessary testing for us. The only way I remember adrenal is related to the kidneys is because renal function is how well your kidneys work. The word renal is in adrenal. That's good. Good point. ADHD. You know what? I've never been diagnosed with ADHD. Not one doctor has. Only one time someone brought that up, but it was when I had first had my son, and I think more what was happening is I had undiagnosed postpartum depression. That's what I think, or a form of that. I think that's what I was going through at that time. And so many women, it gets missed, or it gets misdiagnosed. So I think at that time, what people were seeing wasn't ADHD, but they were seeing me like hypomanic. They didn't know the difference between it, because let's face it, these are primary care doctors. They're not psychiatrists. They do the best they can, but that doesn't necessarily make them right. Doesn't necessarily make them wrong either. It's just I would prefer to be diagnosed by somebody, who went to school for it. I wouldn't want to be diagnosed with brain cancer from a doctor who works on the foot. You know what I mean? Henry, knock it off. Thank you. They're just riding their bikes. Leave them alone. Kids. I have increased trouble with memory and concentrating on conversation because of my lamotrigine. I just got diagnosed at 31 after my son was born. Yeah, I cannot take lamotrigine. It makes me break out in a rash all over my face. So I will never take that again. I've been on it like 2 or 3 times, and they're like, well, you only would get the rash at the very beginning. And I'm like, I don't care what you say. I only care what my body does. So if my body is having a reaction and I stop taking this medication and the rash goes away, I'm not great at math, but I do believe that 1 + 1 = 2, right? So, process of elimination. So yeah, and I'm very vocal about my medication. If I don't want to take something, I will say I will not take that. But there are a lot of medications out there. I've never actually been on a stimulant before, so I don't know how it would actually react to my body or my brain in terms of sleeping. I I guess the idea is that my brain is going, so the stimulant would have the opposite effect, and it would, like with my son, he has ADHD, and he takes stimulants, and without those stimulants, oh my God, he cannot stop. It's like the Energizer Bunny, but forever. It just keeps going. So I guess in that sense, maybe that's what they're thinking, that it'll have the opposite effect. It won't speed me up, it'll slow me down, so it'll slow my brain down, so maybe I'll sleep better. Maybe that's the logic behind it. And I told them I am willing to, give whatever a try, because if we can figure out what's going on with my sleep, that would be so wonderful. I would just love to sleep, I would just love to sleep. I'm sorry. It makes me upset that I can't sleep, because I can feel it messing with my whole body. I get headaches. I get dizzy. I get lightheaded. I get nauseous. And of course, on top of all of this, I'm dealing with pain, and I'm still waiting to get my MRI approved. And because I called today, and the person that is sick is still out. I think that person, whatever that person is sick with, I think they have to do like the quarantine thing just to be sure. They probably had to be tested and all that, for COVID and whatnot. But when you are in pain and you already have, even if you don't have medical issues whatsoever, so you're a healthy person, and you just have something that's causing you pain, that can take a lot out of you. It can make you very tired, exhausted, fatigued. It can make your life very difficult. But when you add on to that added sleep disorders and or mental health disorders, it is like 10 times worse, because there's so many factors that go into whatever is happening inside your brain, and everyone's brain is different. So every medication that we take affects people differently. Even if you can't see it inside the body, if you were to be able to see it, you would see it working different ways, different parts of the body, reactions are different, all kinds of stuff, brain function, all that stuff. So it's really hard to pinpoint one specific thing that might be causing something. Instead, it's most likely multiple things working together that creates my specific situation or your specific situation. I'm trying real hard to focus, can you tell? And I think what I have to, I even tried, every day the dog has to go for a walk, except on really crappy days, or if I'm really not feeling like I can walk, then I won't go. But when I do go, when I can go, I'm like, okay, I'll take him for a walk. We'll go for a half-hour walk. I'll take my meds. I even will have chamomile tea, or chamomile, however you want to pronounce it. Like last night I went for a walk with the dog, and I had my son with me, and we went, where'd we go? Oh, I had to go to the bank, and in the same parking lot with Subway, so he went and got Subway, and then we went to get prescriptions, and then we took the dog for a walk. And I did, I was outside yesterday. I did a lot of walking and moving around because I was trying to get my body moving and using its energy and all that stuff, trying to get some vitamin D and all that stuff. And I thought, okay, I took the dog for a walk. I did this, I did that. And like I said, I took my meds early. I drank chamomile tea. And you would think with all of that, I might get somewhat of a decent night's sleep. No, that did not happen. I kept waking up. I kept tossing and turning. My back was hurting. I remember the last time I looked at the clock, it was like 4:30. And then the next time I looked at the clock, it was 6 o'clock. And then I'm like, oh my God, I am so tired. And then I slept until, I want to say like 11 or something. I don't know. And I've been trying to stay up ever since. But did I get a decent night's sleep? No. I am super, super tired. Although, putting these on, it kind of makes it look like I'm not tired. I look a little less tired with these on, don't I? I hope so. I'm going to go with it. So I kept myself awake by, I had to make some phone calls and take care of some things. And I did that. So I was talking on the phone, which stimulates your brain. Conversation is very important. Talking to people, eye contact, that kind of stuff. Although it was over the phone, so it was more talking. But everyone was very nice that I spoke to today. I made an appointment for my orthotics for a follow-up because I think I had mentioned that I had gotten new shoes. They had to be made. I had to wait for them. Well, with the pandemic and all that stuff, and when I had gotten them in, I was not feeling so good, so I didn't actually try them on. They were still in the box. I hadn't opened them. And then a couple weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, I decided I was going to take them out and try them on and see if they were okay. And, well, they kind of make my feet do this. So what your big toe here, there's not anything that's leveling out my foot like this. It just goes like this. So it's very uncomfortable. It hurt my ankles. I only wore it one time, and it was to take the dog for a walk, and that was it. So I have to go back in and have them evaluate it and get it readjusted. And I think because I can get one pair of shoes per calendar year, I can get a second pair. So yeah, that was a good encounter. That was good, So I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm trying to keep on top of things. I do there's things I have to do, and I can't think of what they are right now. And every day I'm like, what? I know I have to do something. I know I have to do something. And when I think about it, it's when I'm lying down and I'm trying to go to sleep, and then it pops in my head. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. And then I forget. But now that I'm talking about it, I'm going to say it out loud. I have to fill out my recertification papers for my apartment. I gotta do that. So I can get that done. Don't have to deal with it. I'm not sure how they're gonna do the recertification, because usually you have to go in to the office and meet with the building manager, and go over stuff and whatever. But since you gotta be 6 feet apart, I don't know if they're gonna do it like a Zoom or if you just have to fill out paperwork this year and they just get the file it and do that thing and you just sign your life away, and I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do that. That'll be interesting. But they do have, like, the only place you can go now really is the laundry room. There is a community room, but it's locked. The office is temporarily closed, so if you need anything to go to the office, you just slide it under the door. Yeah, and there is a playground, but I don't know how people are using it. I don't know if they've opened parks and playgrounds. I really don't know. I haven't actually heard that on the news. I can only watch so much news because it's so depressing and it pisses me off a lot. But in terms of that, I personally, I wouldn't let my kid play on the playground. Right now, I feel that there is a pandemic, okay? We shouldn't be taking things for granted. I mean, this is just how I feel. We should be wearing masks, doing the social distancing, and until we are over, until they say things are safe, like we've come up with a vaccine and we can help people and people can be safe and you don't have to worry about people dying and 10,000 people going to the hospital, like, what was it, Texas or whatever? I mean, it's like, it's so frustrating, because I want people to be happy. I want people to be safe. I certainly want people to feel that they're not going to lose their homes, because I know a lot of people, they own businesses, and it's hard if your business has to be closed because that's your income. And I understand that is their income. I'm not saying it's not important. It's very valid. It is very, very valid. But at the same time, I feel like people, it's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It is everybody on this planet. Everybody. It is an airborne virus. That means if you use your mouth and nose to breathe, to talk, it goes everywhere. It does. It just disperses everywhere. And even if you have the virus and you don't show any symptoms, to me, I would not put myself in a situation where I might give it to somebody. Because in my mind, that would make me a murderer. Knowing that I could spread this and still don't listen and still be, and like only care about myself and what I need and not care about somebody else's life, I would feel like a murderer because I knew, I was cognizant of what was going on. It's not like, I don't understand. What's a virus? Like, it's not like that. I am smart enough to know what's going on. I am smart enough to put a mask on. I am smart enough to make sure that I keep myself safe and everyone around me safe as best that I can. Is it 100%? No, but it's what I can do. And if I knew that I gave someone the virus and they died, I don't think I could live with myself. And I don't understand how people can be so selfish. Like, I'm not going to wear a mask. Then stay home, okay? If you're choosing not to be safe, then you should stay home. You should stay home. Like, why are you out and about? Like, is it because you're 5 years old and you're having a temper tantrum? Like, that's how it feels to me. People are having temper tantrums. It's against my constitutional right. There is nothing in the Constitution, if you actually read it, people, that says you do not have to wear a mask in public. There's nothing that says that in the Constitution. I swear, do people not read these documents? Have you actually ever read it? Have you ever read the Bill of Rights? Have you ever read anything about history, other than hear it on YouTube or a TV show? Did you actually read a book? Did you actually, like, I feel like people have never ever seen these things before, or read them, or heard them, or anything, because the stuff that people, it's like, you're making that shit up out of your ass. That came out of your ass. You're full of shit. Is really what it is. They're full of shit. And they know it. And what's sad is a lot of these people are grown adults who should know better. They should be the people that we look up to. But instead, it's like, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed by some of the I'm not even doing it, and I'm embarrassed by some of this behavior. There's a lot of things that I don't like. Can I change them? No. All I can do is say, stop hurting people. Stop putting other people's lives in danger. And the only way to stop violence is to exert peace. When Martin Luther King Jr., I think it was, doesn't matter which one it was, no, because they both should have walked together, you know what I mean? It would have been so cool. But anyway, when they marched on Washington, they didn't once hurt anybody. They didn't attack anybody. They didn't yell at anybody. They didn't do any of those things. Things were done to them, and they stood up and kept walking, because actions speak louder than words. He was not for whatever this chaos is going on right now. This is the opposite of what he wanted. He wanted people to love one another, no matter who you were, because we are all people and we all matter, and we should care about our neighbors. You don't necessarily have to like your neighbors, but you should have respect for people. Because if you want respect, you have to show respect. What I see is people trying to instill fear into people so they can get what they want. But sorry, that does not make people respect you. Fear and respect are two very different things. They come from two very different places. You might think that you have respect because people cower to you, but that's not respect, that's fear. And for people to not know the difference is beyond my comprehension. I mean, genius or anything, but I am for peaceful protests. I am for people being treated fairly. I am for getting, in whatever job it is, whether it's cops or politicians, whoever, people who are evil, okay, they do not need to be cops. But that doesn't mean every single cop is bad. It doesn't mean that at all to me. I think cops need a lot more training. I think a lot of people I think cops need to be involved in the community in a way that is not threatening. You know what I mean? Like when, like I said the other day, we went to Dairy Queen, okay? We get to the end of the road, Dairy Queen's right here, we're at a light, and right here someone was pulled over, and they always pull someone over with two cops here, so two cop cars. Well, when they were done with them, okay, I could see them out of the corner of my eye just because the angle I was at, and the cop looked over at me like this, looked over again, and then went, hey, look, and pointed over at me. I'm sorry, that does not make me feel like cops are gonna be, that the cops in this town have my back. In fact, I feel like they're kind of stalking me in a way, keeping tabs on me, Yeah, the cops here are dicks. They really are. They are just, they do not need to have guns. Like, it scares me that some of these cops actually have guns. There is a cop on this force, okay, and she has a huge problem managing her emotions. She gets very emotional, okay? But she carries a gun, okay? I don't feel safe. Like, I feel like she's one of those people who would just draw her gun just because. Just because. You know, she's got that kind of personality. It's scary, you know. I bet you she acts totally different in front of her cop friends and stuff. Oh, hold on a second. I'm sorry. I was in the middle of doing something. I apologize. Somebody texted me and I didn't know because I was talking to you guys, talking to you. Um, Now, does that mean that I don't think that change can happen? Of course I think change can happen. The thing is that for me to even consider trying to get along with the cops in this town, they would have to be adult enough to acknowledge the crap that they've done. I don't need an apology. I don't care if they're sorry. I just want an acknowledgement that they treat me and my son, and sometimes my mother, like crap for no reason. So if they could do something like that, I might be like, all right, let's start over, okay? Let's start over. But there are conditions, there are terms, you know what I mean? Like, you can't be profiling. You gotta come here without prejudgment, you know, stuff like that, if stuff happens. Because my experience with them, I don't even have any words. It's just negative. Just negative, you know. Um, when my son was 7, he was having an episode, and we were trying to get him to the hospital to be evaluated. And when you call for an ambulance, they automatically send out a police officer. And this is the same guy, by the way, who told me not to file the car claim because my insurance would go up even though I was hit. So this is the same jackoff. And he was having an episode, and there was a ball of yarn on the floor that was literally this size, okay? And he was just flailing around, and he picked it up and he threw it up in the air. He didn't throw it at anyone, he just threw it up in the air. And you know what the douchebag said? He puts his hand on his gun and he says, "You're not too young for me to arrest." And I said, "Get the fuck out of my apartment now. Get out." Seriously. What was that? Seriously, what was that? You know, he's like, "I felt threatened." I'm like, okay, let me get this straight. You're 8 million times his size. You have a belt that has a gun, a taser, a billy club, all kinds of other stuff that we don't even know what it is. You ever notice they have that tool belt around them and they have all these different things on it? There's so many things on it. And I'm like, and you felt threatened? I'm like, get out of my apartment now. And he said, well, someone has to be here. I said, then you send in someone who likes kids and isn't you. So they sent in a woman. And that was that one that I said I had. She came in. She didn't have anger in her. She wasn't intimidating. She just came in and she said, what's going on? And I talked to her and I said, you know, when children have these types of disabilities, they do not react the same way as a child who doesn't. Everything that you would do with a normal child, it will backfire on you with a child with special needs because it doesn't work. And he was trying the I'm big and I'm a guy and listen to me type thing. That does not work with him. It does not. He'll tell you to go F yourself, I mean, he won't say those words, but he'll demonstrate it in a way that expresses it in a way. But anyway, she was nice. She was kind. She was able to get him to come out and to get him to get into the ambulance without a fuss. But the men on the force, oh my God, they need to be smacked around a little bit. They are assholes. They do not understand mental health at all. They really don't. They have no training, nothing. What? I don't know what that means. Why do people say things to me that make no sense? I said, I'm sorry that I couldn't talk to you. I was in the middle of doing something. And they text back, yeah, it wasn't me. What? Is that referencing that song? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like there needs to be change. I do feel like people need to feel that the law enforcement in their area, in every area of America, are people you can trust, that you actually feel like if something happened to me, say I got mugged or raped or whatever, I do not think if I went to the cops in this town that they would believe me. I think they would just be like, oh my God, her, yeah, do whatever you got to do to get her out of here. Like, we just don't want to deal with that. That's how I feel that they would treat me. I don't think that it would be fair. I don't think that they would take me seriously. And that's the problem with most. I think that's the real issue that a lot of people have, is that sometimes, a lot of the times, you go to law enforcement and they don't believe you and they don't help you. And sometimes they make you feel like you did something wrong. So that has to change. That attitude must change for everybody. Have I seen that change in this town? No. Nothing has been done in this specific town to address that at all. So, what does that tell you? It tells you the mindset of where I live. Like, it is what it is, and if you don't like it, too bad, So, my goal is to never have to deal with the cops again. That's the goal I have, is if I can avoid dealing with the cops, great. Does that mean I won't ever have to deal with cops? No, there'll probably be times I have to. You don't know what the future brings, but I just wish they were nicer. I wish that they didn't, have a bias or whatever it is. When cops pull you over for whatever reason, sometimes they're pleasant, right? They treat you like a person. They just, they're doing their job. They're not being dicks. They're just doing their job. And I have respect for that. But There are times when you're pulled over and they give you attitude. They're mean. They're not nice. They don't talk to you like you're a person. They talk to you like you just escaped prison. You know, it's messed up, you know, especially state troopers. I don't know what it is, but did they go to class? Is there a specific class where they learn how to look like they don't give a crap about human beings? Like, is there an actual class for that? Because I've noticed cops have this cop look with their face, but it looks like they just want to hurt you, you know, like, I don't know. It's, do you know what I'm talking about? Have you, like, seen this? Have you ever been pulled over and gotten the feeling that this cop is either having a bad day or is just a jack off? I'm gonna say was too, because I don't know what he's talking about, but I don't know. I'm sorry. My light isn't that bright. That's why I can't see. Okay, let's get you clear. I'm gonna make a little funny face emoji. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so I do think that people need to step up and stop all the crime that's happening. Is crime ever going to go away 100%? No, that's unrealistic. But the places that are surging right now, why aren't people doing anything? You do realize if you leave it the way it is, you won't have a city anymore. You probably won't even have a house to go to. What you gonna do then? You know, people are moving a lot right now. The housing market is booming because of all this crime, because of people who say they're peacefully protesting, but what they are really doing is rioting. They're doing criminal activities. They are criminals. They're not good people. The other people, on the other hand, who are actually peacefully protesting, kudos to them. I wish I could walk with them, but I can't walk on pavement that long, and I can't walk for too long because of my back. But virtually, I am with you, okay? I think people... Hold on a second. Oh my God, I cannot type. I will in a bit. Okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, there's a distinct difference between people who burn stuff down, threaten to kill you, break onto your property. And by the way, I don't care who you are. If someone breaks onto your property and trespasses, you have the right to defend yourself. It's in the Constitution. See? Sometimes if you read the Constitution, you might learn a thing or two. Not you guys specifically, but the people out there who are saying stuff, and clearly they've never read it. Like when they talk about, you know, Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. I think the only part of the speech that they know is I have a dream. You know, and the part about, okay, it says that we have the right to pursue happiness. It doesn't say you are guaranteed to be happy. It says you have the right to pursue it. And people seem to get that wrong because they're not interpreting it in the way that it's meant to be. Like, it's very specific, you know. There's a reason that these documents are here. There's a reason that there are laws. There's a reason that there are rules. There's a reason that these structures are in place. It's to prevent this total chaos of anarchy. Okay, it's so this stuff doesn't happen. But when you have a bunch of people who yell and scream and use a movement that they're not even really part of, they're just using it to bounce themselves higher up, and they yell and scream and threaten, and you cower, then I'm sorry, you're giving them what they want. They want to have power over everything. And you know what you do when a 5-year-old comes up to you and tells you that they're the boss? You don't go, okay, honey, you do whatever you want. You're the boss. That's not what you do. You're like, excuse me, do you pay the bills? Do you want to go live out on your own? Because I'm not going to help you. You go out, you go find a job, you go do all this stuff. Then you can say you have power. But until you can pay your own bills, you need to back off and go back and be a 5-year-old. You need to stop what you're doing, because what you're doing is a bad thing. You're being criminals. I'm going to say it again. Criminals. You're criminals. You're criminals. And you need to be stopped. You know, if you come up on my property and you do that, I will defend myself. Guarantee it. Guaranteed. So, and I hope more people are like that. You're willing to fight for what is right. You don't cower to terrorism. You tell terrorism, get the fuck out, or we'll get you out. That's what these people need to do. But they're a bunch of pussies, so. Yeah, I said it. They're a bunch of pussies. That's what they are. That's what they'll be until they pick up their balls or their ovaries and stand up for the people and not the crybabies. You know what I mean? Yeah. Wow, there's a lot of movement over here. There's like squirrels and birds everywhere. Wow. Okay, cool. Well, there's a lot of tree stuff going on, so that's cool. But yeah, I don't know what to do with my sleep. I don't know why I have nightmares. I don't know why. I mean, I guess I do. I guess the trauma that I've been through, it's still there. You know, I don't think when you have dealt with serious trauma that it ever fully leaves you. I think you learn over time. Excuse me? Yeah, that's what I thought. I think over time you learn how to live with it and deal with it. It's like when someone that you love dies, it hurts so much, and it takes a long time to get to a place where you can think about that person and not cry. Or not fall apart completely, you know. So I think it's one of those, it's like that. You always have that initial wound, but you learn, like through coping skills, counseling. I mean, if you even get counseling, I know a lot of people don't get counseling. So they might not have these skills. They might not have any insight necessarily, to help them get through stuff. And I think that with having nightmares and night terrors, there's still a part of me that I guess is affected by the trauma that I have been through. And I don't know if it'll ever go away, but it could be related to that. I'm not really sure, because to have night terrors and nightmares as an adult, it's supposed to be basically rare to non-existent. You might have one here or there, but it shouldn't be as often as I have them, or other people have them. So what do you do about that? I don't know. I'm not really sure how you ever really stop having nightmares or night terrors, especially when you've been in counseling as long as I have, and you've been to different types of counseling. You've been different to, like, I'm getting messed up. Like, you've been, like, maybe you've been to a hospital, maybe you've seen a psychiatrist. I went to a partial program, things like that. And you do this continuously, but you still have these issues. It makes me wonder, does it ever go away? Will I ever not have these dreams that I can't remember? Night terrors I can't remember. Nightmares, absolutely. I remember nightmares, but not night terrors. And it's common to not remember night terrors because of when it happens, I believe, in your whatever stage it is. I think it happens during the stage where you're not supposed to have any dreams, I think. I'm not entirely 100% sure on that, but I just want to feel better. I just want to sleep. But maybe that's not in the cards for me. Maybe I have to learn how to live, feeling tired all the time. Which means that I need to have someone help me with things, because my cognition sucks. Sometimes I can't say what I need to say. The words get, like, I can't get it from here to here. I try to say the word, and it's not clicking. I can't get it. And what happens is I'll be like, okay, say I'm saying I need to find my phone. I lost my phone or something. I will say, that black thing that's like this, and you do this, and you do this. That's what I would say. And they'd be like, a phone? I'm like, yes, the phone. Because I could think of how to describe it. I could think of the functions it has, but I cannot think of the name of it. So that happens to me a lot. So when I'm dealing with certain things, like dealing with the bank, or dealing with certain things where you need to be very precise or give a lot of detail, sometimes I need help with that because I will forget, or I can't speak properly and I need someone to say it for me. So that, I'm assuming, is because the lack of sleep, it's messing with my ability to have conversations where it doesn't feel like having this conversation, I feel like I'm trying to pull everything out of my brain. Like, it feels like this big struggle. Like, I have this headache right now, because I'm trying to use my brain. My brain says no. Sorry, I didn't even realize. I definitely had postpartum depression and anxiety. My psychiatrist based the ADHD diagnosis on the fact I exhibited symptoms all my life, but they got worse after I had my son. My compensatory is there more to that? I don't know what that word means. I apologize. A lot of people get diagnosed with things during pregnancy. Yeah, it's really hard because when you're pregnant, lots of things are going on in your body. So sometimes it's hard to pinpoint. Sure, plane too. That works. Sorry, it's so noisy. That's what happens during the summer. This road is it's a major route because it goes to if you keep going on this road, it leads to the airport. If you go to the other end of the road, it goes downtown. So It's very popular. So I'm sorry for all the car noise. It's just how it is. But it's either this noise or I go inside and make it and I get interrupted by my mom and my kid, and so pick your battles, pick your battles. um wow. Oh, compensatory strategies for the ADHD no longer worked. Yes, it gets missed for sure. Yeah, it really does. They try to put me on that also. Nope, I like my clear complexion. Are you still on disability? Yes, I had my 3-year review a few months ago, and I can't think of the word, they approved it. um, oh, you got that darn rash, that is scary. Yeah, well, the thing is it didn't happen when I first started taking lamotrigine. It happened after being on it for a long time. And that's why they said, oh, it wasn't part of the medicine. This isn't my current doctor that said that. She actually agreed with me when I told her what happened. She said, yeah, that absolutely was a rash from that. I don't know why they didn't take you off of it. I'm like, well, that's because I took myself off of it because they weren't listening to me. My face was burning. Okay. It was just full of red dots and it was burning. So, I had to put aloe on my face because it felt like a big sunburn. And then I stopped taking it, and within a week or two, I was fine. So, yeah. But a lot of people swear by lamotrigine, and if it works for you, then take it. But if you feel that the medicine you're taking is causing you more harm than it is helping you, you have every right to tell your doctor, I no longer want to take this. I need to know, do I just stop it immediately or do I have to taper off of it? Because some of these medications you have to taper off. You can't just stop. It can cause major, major problems if you do. Kristen, I got hypothyroidism when I had my first daughter, postpartum psychosis with my second child. I don't know what SMH means. Try Benadryl for sleep. That's what I use. I have used Benadryl. The only thing it does is help me fall asleep. It doesn't help me stay asleep. Keep stress down also. Yeah, I try to. I try very hard not to be stressed. That's why I said all that I said about what I was feeling, because I needed to get it out, because I've been holding it in and I just need to get it out. So that's one way that I relieve stress, is talking about what bothers me, and stuff like that. So, but I do try to do breathing exercises. I know a lot of people like, oh, I can't do that, it's too hard. What it is we're so used to being busy and doing stuff all the time and things being quick like this, that when you stop to breathe, you start realizing you have thoughts and you have feelings, and that starts to come to the surface, like when you meditate and all these things are going. That some people don't like that, because they're like, oh, I don't like to hear my thoughts, but it's like, you need to hear your thoughts. You need to know what's going on with yourself, and once you do it enough time, you get used to that. And if you do it in a quiet place with nobody else around, just try it for like 30 seconds. Just try that 30 seconds. That's it. And you just do it over and over, like once a day, 30 seconds, once a day, like right before you go to bed or right when you wake up or something. And you try it. Eventually, like anything else, it becomes something that you're used to. And sometimes it can be something that if you don't do, that can cause you stress. But it is good to breathe. It is good to take the time for yourself to relieve that stress. One thing I swear by I know it's not a big thing here. I think it's maybe in China or Japan. I forget which one. But every night they soak their feet because you get a lot of stress in your feet. Your feet hold everything. They hold you up. They hold the most stress. So if you get some like Epsom salt, or not Epsom salt, they have I forgot what it's called, foot powder stuff. You get some hot water and you pour it in and all that. You can even put like chamomile tea in or whatever, and you just like sit there until the water gets too cold. You will notice a lot of stress just, it does, it just comes off. It feels so good. I seriously try it. It's the worst that'll happen is you don't like it, right? But it's been proven that it works to help relieve stress of the body. The delivery guy gave me an attitude because I told them to leave the order outside. He got mad at you because you asked him to leave your package outside so you both would be safe. Is that what happened? He got mad? With so much narcissism going on here in America, I feel like the nation needs to go back to preschool and learn the golden rule. DMV is a mess now. Cops here too. They don't like me in their scheduled, secluded, tiny town. That's why you gotta let it all out, baby. Just walk down the street and be like, this is where I live. They'll be like, that person's nuts. Actually, you're free. When you can act like that in front of people, you're completely free. You know? How many people feel free? I mean, I don't mean free as in having rights. I mean free as in you don't care what anyone thinks of you, and you're going to be who you are. As long as you're a nice person, When you turn into a douchebag, well, don't be surprised that people don't like you. Cops are working for the rich within each area, not us. Is there a way that you can contact your local news authority? Like where I live, they have this thing where you can meet with some of the people that work there. Like they'll be at like restaurants or whatever, and you can actually go in and meet with them and tell them the issues that you think are really prevalent, and they'll put it on the news if it's newsworthy, for sure. And I think that's newsworthy. I don't know, like, if you have that, but it's worth looking into, because if this doesn't get out, if people don't know that it's going on, then there's nothing that can be done. And when you put cops in the spotlight, they don't like that. And sometimes when you do that, the chief of police or whoever it is, they might be like, oh, okay, this is going on. This has got to change. There are some police chiefs who do not tolerate crap with their officers. Okay, so it's worth a shot, anything to get it out there. Wow, you go, girl. Woohoo! I'm in the same boat, Amanda. I went to them due to domestic violence situations, and they had an attitude that really sucks. Oh, it's her. What's the problem now? Yeah, don't you hate that? When people look at you and they're like, oh my, like they already think that you're just going to cause problems. It's really sad, because what that shows is that the people that, like, when we're kids, we are told officers will help you. They are the good guys. But as you grow up and you have experience in life, you realize most of them are criminally insane. I'm sorry that I keep getting like spit here. I don't know what's going on. I think it's just because my mouth is really dry. I apologize. I'm not trying to be gross or anything. Same here, cognitive difficulties. Yeah, cognitive difficulties. All right, I am going to stand up because I've been sitting for a while and it hurts. So we're gonna, I don't know, walk around or something so I can move my body. So I can move. Oh, so I made beef stew last night in the pressure cooker. It was so good. What I did, and I do this on a lot of recipes, is I will look up a few different people and how they make this one particular thing. And I will take certain elements of each and then make it my own. So like if somebody says, oh, I add oregano, or I add thyme, or I add this, or I add that, I will be like, okay, I like that seasoning. I don't like that seasoning. I like that one. And I'll pick and choose what I like. And it turned out so good. It was delicious. And then I matched it with, I had made black-eyed peas and rice, brown rice, and I just put it all together. And it was divine, delicious. So I want to do a video where I can cook and stuff, but I don't really have editing software, and I don't know if, like, I've never actually tried, I never actually tried using those apps that say that they edit videos, because I feel like they might not work. And like I said, I don't have a computer. All I have is my phone. So if I were to make a video and without any editing software of any kind, it'd be a long video, or I'd have to make it in parts. You know what I mean? I don't mind making it in parts, but wouldn't it be easier to have it all in one video? But I don't have access to that right now, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. So let me ask you guys, if I did make a video on like stuff I'm cooking, would it bother you if I did it in parts? You know, that way, because I don't have editing software, it would really be the only way I could do it. Is that something you guys would be okay with? Because, you know, with all these people and their, you know, channels full of all kinds of stuff, like, I'm not like someone like that. I don't know how to make videos that way. I don't know, like, I'm just me, and I don't know I don't know how they do it, but that's not how I can do videos, because I don't have access to it, first of all, and second of all, some of these videos that people make, it's interesting because you have like somebody who makes a video about a certain topic. Like, say they do a reaction video of some kind. Then somebody else will do a reaction video on the same topic about the same person and use virtually almost the same style of editing and whatnot. And they're basically the same videos, just done by different people. And it's like, okay, but that's kind of boring. Like, there's 800 YouTube channels covering the same topic, and most of them say the same thing. So I don't know. That seems kind of weird to me. Like, why does that happen? What's going on there? Hi, Henry. I'm gonna unhook you. Here we go. You want to go inside, buddy? Yeah. You want to say hi, Henry? Say hi, Henry. Say hi. Oh, you want? Let's take this off. He doesn't like to talk without this on. Say hi, Henry. Hey, sit. Say hi. Give him a paw. Good boy. He doesn't like to be on camera. Say, I'm a handsome boy. You got a bug in your eye. Say, I'm a handsome boy. Give your paw. Wait, sit. Give your paw. There you go. He really hates the camera. He always has. Well, actually, I'm gonna go in because I told my son I would play video games with him. But I wanted to, come on, Henry. I wanted to make this, come on, video first. I didn't realize I'd be out here this long, but I was. So yeah. But yeah, I am just, come on, Henry, it's okay. I know, you got a long tail behind you. There's like 3 different, oh, it fell off, okay. It fell off. See, it's like all the way over here. It's a couple of them put together. Oh, sorry about that. It's all this movement. Hold on. Okay, I know, honey. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry for all the movement. Here you go. Okay. Oh, it's nice and cool in there. It's super humid outside right now. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So yeah. I just wanted to tell you about my E.E.G results. And I'll probably be doing a lot more live streams because, like I said, until I figure out how to deal with my storage space and whatnot, I really don't have much space left. So, live streams it is. Alright, I love you guys. Please be safe there. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.